What's going on, everybody? It's Dan here, back with another Moonshine talking. Welcome aboard. Hope everyone's having a good one. It's early afternoon. I gotta go into work in a little while. Normally, I'd be working out at this point in time, but instead, I'm doing this because I'm not allowed to do anything right now because I cracked a rib. It was a couple weeks ago, Halloween. Halloween is on Thursday. Thursday is my day off. That's usually when I get in one of my heavier, more inclusive workouts. I was having some spazzing issues, some muscle spazzing issues on my like lower ab area, hip area. So I decided I was gonna use my foam roller to try to work out any knots or anything like that. So long story short, I was at a weird angle, and I think just with my weight and the torque and all that sort of stuff, I rolled across it. I could hear I heard and felt a little pop. There was a little pain that went along with it, and I was like, oh, that's not good. Didn't think much of it. Continued on with my workout, and even though it was painful at times, a little uncomfortable at times, I just kind of went about my business. Went to work. I do a lot of shipping and receiving at work. Did my job. We even at our job we had to do a switch over from our Halloween setup to our Christmas setup. So that was moving lots of racks and boxes and stuff like that. Did all that. And even though at times it was a little uncomfortable, just kind of go through, just go through life. I could breathe and it didn't feel like anything was like anything was punctured or anything like that. So I didn't think too much of it. Supposed to go see my physical therapist. And I work with a bunch of women and I'm telling them about all this. So they're getting worried for me. So they tell me, they're insisting I go see a doctor and at least go get it x-rayed. So I conceded. When got it x-rayed. Sure as shit, I cracked a rib. So that was on Halloween, like I said, about 2 weeks, 2 weeks in roughly. They told me it's probably about a 4 week recovery period. So I got a couple more weeks to go of where I can't really lift much. I got to take it easy and try not to aggravate the area because it's a rib injury. There's really not much they can do. Said you didn't puncture a lung, you didn't puncture any of your organs. So beyond that, it was a very slight one. Like they kind of went through the process and explaining what a crack versus like a fracture versus a break and all that sort of stuff. But they said just take it a little bit easier. And I was telling him how I'd already been working out and all the stuff I do at work and all that. And the doctor just kind of laughed and he said, I wish there were more people like you in the world, which I thought was a compliment, but I kind of feel like maybe it wasn't. And maybe it was a backhanded compliment because maybe he's saying well, if there's more people like you in the world, idiots, then I'd be a billionaire and I could retire early. But I don't know. Maybe he was paying me a compliment, maybe he wasn't. So that's that. So I'm pretty much taking it easy. So I'm taking advantage of the opportunity of not having squat to do. And I figured I'd do a video. And what I'm going to talk about is the most recent live show I went to. It was the Devastation on the Nation tour 2024, sponsored by, I want to say, Vox and Hops, which is a podcast run by Matt from Cryptopsy, the new vocalist. And it featured originally it was supposed to feature Morbid Angel was supposed to be the headliner, but due to unforeseen circumstances, and I heard some chirping out in the crowd that Trey takes care of his mom, so something was going on there, so he couldn't do the tour. But it was supposed to be Morbid Angel. They backed out, and then the promoters and everybody else got I Am Morbid, which is Dave Vincent and Pete Sandoval's. It's their tribute cover, whatever the hell sort of band. It's their version of Morbid Angel going out there and doing the classic era stuff. And it was featured. They featured Suffocation. Everybody knows who Suffocation are. And then it had the support acts were it had a band called Knoll, which they're like a noise grindcore band from Tennessee. Fulci, which is an Italian brutal death metal band. Mortiferum, which is a death doom band from Olympia, Washington. UADA, which is a Portland, Oregon based melodic black metal band. And yeah, and it was a killer show. I enjoyed it. I had a really good time. There was a lot of people there. It was kind of heartening to know that there was a pretty good crowd, probably like two, maybe 300 if I'm using my wrestler brain to gauge audiences. And it was cool to see because there's always a lot of competing things going on, and I know a lot of people were wetting their pants over Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix. Even a couple people at the venue were streaming that on their phones, but I could give a shit about Jake Paul or Mike Tyson. You're fighting a 58-year-old man, and whether it's Mike Tyson or not, it is what it is. You know, I thought the thing was probably going to be as worked as one of my matches, but that's just my opinion. I imagine it probably was. I didn't see it. I heard about it, but that's the extent of that. That's the extent of my Jake Paul Mike Tyson talk. So I hope you enjoyed it. But anyhow, so we'll go into the good, the bad, the ugly of the show, trying to go step by step. So doors open at 5. I got there a little bit later. See the opening band, Nola's setting up, and they've got like all these. They get these uh, purple and gold mortuary drapes that they're setting up behind the drum set. I see they got like either a mixing or DJ board or something like that. And I'm thinking, oh boy, what's going on here? And my phone's ringing. I should have silenced that, but anyhow. Um, so they're doing that. Then I see the guitar player pull out a horn, and I'm thinking, oh boy, what's going on here? So they get playing. They're doing a couple of songs, and the inside is packed because they're not letting anybody outside. The way the Orpheum works is the the better drawing shows they go outside, and the smaller drawing shows they do the stage on they perform on the stage inside. So this one was an outdoor show, which is very cool because it was a nice night out. It's always cool, nice big moon outside. So it was pretty cool, cool setup. So everybody starts filtering outside to go out and watch the show, see the band start sound checking, all that sort of good stuff. So I figured, I'll take advantage of the opportunity and I'll start hitting up the merch table now that everybody's walked away. So I'll get this, I'll do this real quick. So, of course, I got the Suffocation beanie. I got a shirt from Fulci, Tropical Sun. Very cool. I don't know if you can see the writing on the back. If you did, wonderful. If not, that's fine too. I picked up Tropical Sun on vinyl. I haven't opened it, but I have listened to this a few times. It's a fantastic album. Picked up a patch, and then I also picked up a shirt from Suffocation. You got this, the album cover from Hymns of the Apocrypha, Devastation on the Nation tour shirt. This is what was interesting to me because on the flyer I saw we were allegedly the first show on the tour, but you can see they got Pittsburgh and Knoxville before us. So I don't know what the deal was there, but I also didn't know that Morbid Angel had pulled off the show until probably a day or two before actually the day I did the short thing that I did to promote the show. That's when I found out that I Am Morbid were gonna be the headliner. So anyhow, so I didn't catch a lot of Knoll. It sounded fine from what I heard, but I didn't catch a lot of the band because I was busy buying all the stuff I wanted to buy. And then I took it and I had to go walk it down to my truck to go put it away in my truck. So I missed a few of their bit of their set, and I took notes. I want to say they played about 20 minutes or so, and they played maybe like 3 4 songs, something like that. You have to forgive me. I'm also being a dick and playing around on my phone real quick. But yeah, they played 3 maybe 4 songs, but they played about 20 minutes. And again, they were fine, but the horn, the pulling out it was either a trumpet or a French horn, that kind of like that was like I was like, "Oh boy." That made me nervous. seeing either the mixing board or DJ thing. That made me a little nervous, but that might have just been for sampling purposes. But they were fine. I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way to check them out in the future, but they were fine. Then up was Fulci. Fulci, Italian brutal death metal. They just put out a new album, Duckface Killings. I did a review on it. You know, if you want to go check it out, go look in the back catalog of my channel. I did a review on that a while back. Fantastic album, very much, very Cannibal Corpse-y as far as that style of death metal. It's based on the movie New York Ripper. They do a lot of stuff that's based on Italian giallo films. This is very cool. I don't want to go as far as to call it a gimmick, but that's kind of their shtick. That's the theme of a lot of the stuff that they do. And they were awesome. I was most excited to see them because I had just recently gotten into them and listening to Duckface Killings, and then somebody suggested, well, if you like that, check out Tropical Sun, and I listened to that, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. And so I was very excited to see Fulci, and they did not disappoint. If this thing comes to your town, go see it. If for nothing else, go see it for them because they did a great job. I really wish they would have gotten to play a lot longer because to me, they stole the show. They were worth the price of admission in and of itself. If it was just I Am Morbid and Suffocation and Fulci opening up for them, that would have been 2,000 horns up. That would have been worth it alone. But they did 25 minutes, 8 songs, and they just tore the place apart. It was good the entire time. Just amazing. I can't again, you get the chance to see these guys live, go see them. They're high energy, they're frenetic, the riffs, the grooves, the breakdowns, everything about them just fantastic. So do yourself a favor, go check them out if you ever get a chance. So yeah, that would be a 10 out of 10 for me, boss. But yeah, they were good, and now this is where it kind of got a little painful. So Mortiferum is up next. They had a sound check that was painful. It took the sound people like 35 minutes to get their shit together. And a lot, I think all it was they had a mic cable that wasn't working. And they finally figured out because the guitar player is also the vocalist, and he's just standing there with his dick in his hand, his guitar across his strapped on him. But that notwithstanding, he's just standing around, keeps talking into a microphone that's not working, and he's being cool about it. But it's painful. It's painful standing around watching this for like 35 minutes. And I was standing next to the soundboard the entire time, and I'm just like kind of like, what are you guys doing? What's going on here? But I don't know anything about mics or mixing or soundboards or any audio stuff, audio geek stuff, so I couldn't really tell you why it took them so long. But man, but they finally got their stuff together, got the cable, got the cable issue sorted out. They started playing. They played for roughly, I want to say, about 40 minutes, and they're a very solid Death Doom band. I like Death Doom, and they're very good. I wasn't familiar with them at all, but I'll definitely check them out in the future. Yeah, and they were good. I enjoyed them. I kind of wish it was kind of marred or mired. I think marred is the word by just the sound issues early on. But they did a good job. So definitely, if you're into Death Doom, go check them out if you're not familiar with them. Mortiferum. So then up next was UADA, and UADA again, melodic black metal band, Portland, Oregon. They played about 25 minutes. They did roughly 4 or 5 songs. Not really, wasn't really familiar with them. I had seen some clips of them online, but that's the extent of my knowledge of them. were good. I enjoyed them. They they did a great job. They had a good stage presence. They kind of look like a bunch of Antifa dudes, but other than that, that notwithstanding, I like they had smoke machines going the whole time, which it was kind of comical because we had a tropical storm down the Caribbean, so we're getting a lot of the weather here. We're getting a lot of wind and cooler air. And at one point, they had this nice atmosphere going with all the smoke, and then the cloak, the hooded and the hooded mysterious look and all that sort of stuff. And it all just got blown away by the wind. One of their banners came down, and someone had to jump up on stage to try to fix that. And they didn't really even do a good job of doing that. They were just kind of half-assed it, and then even threw up their hands like, that's good enough. So but they did a really good job. Definitely, I'll definitely be listening to them in the future. Go check out some of their stuff. But yeah, they were also a very good band. I could see why they were a little bit higher up on the food chain of this show. If you're not familiar with them, go check out UADA. They're pretty good. So up next was the mighty Suffocation. I was a little more upset that I think their set got cut short a little bit. I'm not quite sure on that, but it was just they seemed like they were on for like a half hour. I mean, they didn't seem to be on the stage at all. But I know they were probably on there longer than that, but yeah, they just it was like they were there and then they weren't. They did but they blistered through a quick set. They did 7 songs. 3 3 they did off the new album, Hymns of the Apocrypha, and then they did 4 classics. They opened up with Seraphim Enslavement off the new one. I'm pretty sure they closed with Liege of Inveracity. They did Pierce from Within, Effigy of the Forgotten, Perpetual Deception off the new one, Dim Veil of Obscurity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing one. I can't remember the song I'm missing, but I know it was. I can't remember what the other song is that I'm missing. But they were killer. Ricky does a fantastic job fronting Suffocation. I don't see why anyone would not want to go see them because they got a new vocalist. I don't know. That's your opinion. That's your right. You can do that. That's fine, but I don't get it. I don't get that seems kind of silly to me. Like Frank Mullen's not in the band anymore. He doesn't want to be on the road. That's his decision. So it's like, what? If you don't like the band anymore, fine, but you're not going to support them because they had to get a new vocalist. They want to continue touring. Like Terrence and the rest of the guys, they want to continue touring and playing music and going and being musicians. So I don't know. It just seems it's silly to me, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. What do I know? That's but they did a fantastic job. Just killer all around. 10 out of 10 all the time. Every time I see them, they always bring it. So I enjoy Suffocation. I enjoy seeing them live. If you get a chance to see them and you've never seen them before, go check them out. So then finally, we got to the main event, as it were. I Am Morbid. I Am Morbid is David Vincent and Pete Sandoval from Morbid Angel. They're playing a bunch of classic era Morbid stuff. Of course, they're one of these bands that they've kind of the core guys splintered off and are fighting over the band name and the this and the that. So Trey has all the rights to all the Morbid Angel, being able to call the band Morbid Angel and all that sort of stuff. So this is Dave's version of the band, Dave and Pete's version of the band. They got a couple of hired guns playing with them. One of the guys is I want to say one of the guys was in Doro at one point. I think the other guy was in Trivium at one point. Don't quote me on that. But both the guys who are playing guitar for them, fantastic musicians. The whole band, they look like rock stars on the stage. Even a couple of them look like they actually go to the gym and take care of themselves. They're all decked out in their leathers. They have presence. They look professional, which I appreciate. I appreciate they're putting in the effort to look like a professional musical act. And they were good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't have a problem going to see Dave Vincent perform songs that he's sung on for decades. I don't see the problem. And just for the record, I didn't special order my tutu in time, so I didn't get to wear it at the show. I apologize to anyone who might have been expecting all of us to be wearing tutus at the I Am Morbid show, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fine. I had a good time. They played. I'll go right through the set. They did as my phone dims out. They opened up with Immortal Rights. Falling from Grace. They did Vengeance from the Dark Side, Blessed Are the Sick, Rapture, Pain Divine, Maze of Torment. They took a little break and let the guitarist get off and have a guitar solo, which is kind of neat. It's very underrated thing and something that it's not very underutilized as of late with a lot of bands. They went into Dominate, Where the Slime Live, God of Emptiness, and World of Shit. Uh, I will say, uh, Dave's voice has changed over time. Uh, he doesn't he doesn't have the he doesn't hit the like the deeper growly registers that he did in his earlier years. But I mean, the guy's what? He's probably in his 50s at this point. So he still does a good job up there. You can see where his voice is a little bit different than it was in the earlier years, excuse me. But they did a fantastic job. Uh, I have no complaints. I thought it was good. The one thing I will say that again, and this falls on the local sound crew at the Orpheum, I think they were using backing tracks. Don't quote me on that, but I do think there was some of that happening. I do because they started out when they did Immortal Rights. They did the opener off of the album, and they start with that, and then after that, it just the drums sounded off, and there was a couple times where Dave would be doing vocal parts and like different vocal passages from the songs, and it just kind of sounded like there was vocal layering going on, to where either he's trying to replicate the stuff off the album or doing whatever sort of vocal shenanigans that were going on to try to just make it sound a little bit more like grand and theatrical, as it were. But I thought that was going on. But the one thing they definitely were doing something, because at one point the freaking sound people had, I don't know if it was Animal Planet or the Discovery Channel. I don't know what they were playing, but they had something going on that was like it was ridiculous. And even he brought it up because the song ends and you start hearing about like the animals and this and that, and it was just, oh, good grief. But yeah, it was pretty brutal. But other than that, it was a good show. So everybody, as always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe. If you like the channel, you like the content, you like the videos, if you're new here, please subscribe. Share out the stuff if you enjoy it. If you want to clip it, go ahead and do that. I don't give a crap. I'll stand by anything I say. And yeah, if share it, like, give it a thumbs up if you're feeling froggy. Throw a comment down in the comment section. I try to be as engaged as possible with anybody who asks me questions or leaves comments, any of that sort of good stuff. And then, if you want, go check out a couple of these things. I think they're kind of entertaining. And yeah, so that's that. Everybody, have a good one. Take it easy. And I'll catch you on the next one. Later.